we think first and foremost about the lines person. Okay, that we hear that she's okay. So number one, we hope that's the case. But listen, Novak Djokovic has been doing things like this many times over his career, hitting the ball in anger and not taking enough responsibility for his actions. Okay, so of course he didn't do this on purpose. Nobody's suggesting that he did it on purpose, but he was in control of what he did. What he did was wrong, and he has to pay the price, which is walking out of here. And by the way, he walked out of here without talking to the press. So he should have stood up. He should have said, I apologize. Hopefully he went to see the lines person that we don't know about behind the scenes, but he should have come and talked to the press. Instead, he just picked up his stuff and left. That is not the way to handle this situation.
He left the grounds more than an hour ago. We can take a quick look at the timeline, Darren, and you were courtside for this match. You saw it up close in real time. Tell us what you saw.
Yeah, we were actually about to go to an ad break, and I was yelling in the microphone, wait, guys, we've got a problem here, a real problem. And I'm gutted for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because of the lady and the pain that she was in. There was no question she was in a lot of pain. You could hear her voice coming through the audio. And I'm gutted for Novak as well, because as Patrick said, he didn't mean it, but we are accountable to our actions as tennis players, and we all know the rule. It's 100% clear to us, and I think the referee 100% made the right decision here. It's a tough decision, but it is the right decision, and you can see how much that young lady's it did hurt her. It was a shocking thing to watch and a shocking thing to listen to.
I'm absolutely shocked that it took this long, because as soon as that lines person went down, match over. I mean, there's no question about it. I've had a bunch of people send me messages and, you know, was this a right decision? This is a no-brainer decision. This had to be the decision. That was the only decision for this to happen. And again, look, Djokovic has many great qualities as a person. But one of them is not being in control of himself as much as he needs to, particularly when you hold the position that he holds. So devastating way for him to go out. It's a bummer in many ways for the tournament, but it's not about that. As you see him, getting out of here, taking off. It's about, as Darren just said, rightly so, being accountable for what you do on the tennis court.
As we look at the timeline, Darren, as things transpired, this whole match, he was a bit edgy. There were a couple of things that happened to him. He took a spill, braced himself with his arm, felt something in his shoulder, received treatment, thought he had the first set.
We had about 4 break points, one in the 4-3 game, then 3 in the 5-4 game. He actually got a little bit unlucky in that 5-4 game. He thought he had the set. He didn't get it, and Carreno Busta kept on fighting, and then he turned it around, got to break his serve. And so that frustration started to build. Actually, about 4 or 5 points before this actual incident, he took a ball and banged it into the side fence 3 times harder than what he hit this ball back to the lines person. And he was actually a little bit lucky after this particular one. He actually hit the side railing there, because there were 3 camera people holding sound mics just above where that ball hit, and if that cleared it, he would have been in real trouble with that. So there was an accumulation of incidents that happened that brought him to do what he did when he dropped serve.
There's been accumulation of this happening for years, okay? He's done this multiple times. He did this at the ATP Finals in 2016 when he beat Dominic Thiem.
He has hit a lines person?
No, he's done something similar where he hit a ball, and like what we just showed, where he did something that was dangerous. He almost hit someone.
Okay.
So when you do that, you're playing with fire. And he played with fire one too many times.
Darren, you weren't there to talk to him, but you were the closest ear we had to the situation. By reading his body language, do you think he knew? He knew what he was...
We all know.
He was pleading his case, but he knew it was decided.
Deep down, we all know the rule. It's 100% clear to us. I guarantee you every single tennis player that is here at the US Open that saw that incident said, he's gone. It would have been the first thing that went through everybody's mind. And I think he was pleading his case. The difficult thing for the referee is they don't work off the video. They come onto the court, they speak to the chair umpire, they go over and they speak to the lines person, and they speak to anybody else that had involvement in the incident. So they have to put all the information together, and then Novak got to plead his case, and that's Patrick why it took so long. Right. I think they gave him the respect of the situation being so big, clearly because he's the #1 player in the world, but they came to the right decision, and I believe they came to the decision to default him pretty early in the process, but they needed to go through the process to at least give Novak a chance to plead his case.
Now, if they had the video to review, that would not have changed anything.
It would not have helped
and that has
Novak.
to be made clear.
It would have been quicker. I think that's Darren's point. So he makes a great point that this was something that they wanted to go through the proper steps. And they usually, if, for example, if a linesperson goes and reports a player to the umpire, they said something under their breath, they'll talk to the chair umpire. If it gets into something that's really extreme, then you go through the proper protocol. And I think they obviously did that here.
And the U.S. Open and the USTA also took its time to make sure the statement explained exactly what Novak had done, the rules he violated. So let me read that to you. In accordance with the Grand Slam rulebook, following his actions of intentionally hitting a ball dangerously or recklessly within the court or hitting a ball with negligent disregard of the consequences. That statement right there is taken from the final paragraph of the rule, abuse of balls. So that's exactly where that came from. The U.S. Open tournament referee defaulted Novak Djokovic at the 2020 U.S. Open. Because he was defaulted, Djokovic will lose all ranking points earned at the U.S. Open, will be fined the prize money won at the tournament, that is $250,000 for some context, in addition to any of the fines levied with respect to the offending incident. And that is from the rule regarding defaults. And a supervisor may declare a default for either a single violation of code, and that's exactly what happened. So that's what the USTA decided to do. That was the rules that went, and it's right by the book. There's really no arguing what they did and the decision made.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.